Okay. A little late, but we got there. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Brian says hello to, yes, Friday night, April 6th, 2018. Ready for another edition of Game Show Talking Fun. I'm here just to get just to throw the switch again. Start inside. Okay, stop. Okay. I know. She's excited because she wanted to be a part of this conversation, but I'm not even going to be part of this conversation. And I'm sorry, you're going to ask questions all right, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for a catastrophe. At least in my opinion. Sorry. I hear you talking too much. I'm cutting you off from inside. Okay. While she takes my place, okay. Everybody else, the usual bits are here. Scott's going to be leading the conversation tonight. Okay. You listen more than you ask. Okay. Now, what would you expect? Glad to see you again. Been a little while.
Thank you.
All right. I'll see you there. And camera Chuck Berman ready, willing and able to throw whatever he has to. You know, Chuck?
What's that?
Okay. Yes, I know. The Dudley boys are going into the Hall of Fame tonight. Yes, I understand.
No, not like that. I mean, it's time. It's Lost Silver Productions with your Lost Silver Productions host.
You're going in whatever direction you feel like on this one. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, my brain's just like in 50 directions right now.
Okay. All right. Before we get started with any of the regular business tonight or whatever, Scott, from your worm's eye view, I'm going to turn the attention over to you because I know that you were saying something. You were telling me something before the show tonight that you wanted to get an announcement made about, and just something just for those of us here to know, and also for our viewers, however precious few of them are, that you wanted to make a mention of too. So go ahead, stage is yours.
Got the good news. I got the call. I got the
job. Well, you have to give us a little more context than that, because like I said, there's a lot of things that our viewers we have don't know that's been going on the last couple of weeks or whatever, or this week in particular.
Yeah, like keep it spotless.
But no, not that. We're not talking about that. Explain what's been going on for the past week.
Well, on Monday I went for a job audition with Foxwoods Casino, and I just got the call today to do orientation on next Friday.
All right, Big Scott. Virtual high five.
A toast to you.
Thank you.
Virtual high five, Scott. You got this, bud.
I'll drink my.
I'm drinking my green slime for tonight.
I get it.
No. See, this is why. All right, so that thought in mind there in general and stuff or whatever. So just given the fact that you're going to be doing it, so just walk the rest of us through what's going to be happening up until over the next number of weeks and months and stuff like that. What does this mean?
It means that as of right now, I'll be working probably about 2 jobs. I'm still going to keep my security job. Because everyone's it's part-time, so I'll be working at basically 4 a.m. Nothing new with me on. Nothing new. I'm not used to working overnight.
But you got this, bud.
So they already went over, base play plus, I'll be making base play plus tips and so.
What casino are you working at?
I'll be working in Foxwoods' poker room.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's the one in northern Connecticut. We can take buses here from Long Island. I was only there once, but I think everybody will be happy to lose their money to you since you're going to root for everybody to win.
You ever tried Delta Downs here in Louisiana or Texas area? Tried applying for that yet?
Not anything. I'd probably go to either Atlantic City next or Vegas.
All right, cool.
Although this is just, the start of the league of the season. So,
A long career for you, brother. Go for it.
I mean, this was only my second audition, so got in, and I'm just go for the interview. Take care of the paperwork next week. And,
Well, I hope you pass the audition.
no, I already did. I passed. I for the job.
Nice, man.
Yeah, so is that going to involve considering that's a 2.5-hour drive from New York City, I don't know if you're going to be working there weekends or just every other day and keeping a security job?
Yeah, that I don't know how my schedule's going to be, and I'm going to work that out with my current job, and let them know on Friday that, hey, I got another job. But these are the dates. From what they said, they give us a schedule like 2 weeks in advance for the next week, so I know what the schedule is going to be up there. Then that way I can coordinate that with my job.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, this is only the beginning of Scott Goldiner 2.0.
A legend.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Hey, Scott. Hey, I'm Scotty. And Brian told you to text chat, bud.
I know it's all.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, cool.
I'm on it.
well, I'm good.
So is it time for Smash or Trash?
Do we have anything for Smash or Trash?
Well, we have what's old is new. An old favorite will be coming to CNBC later this year.
Ooh.
Well, yes, let's just say a new old favorite, as Deal or No Deal will be coming back to CNBC this time. Howie Mandel will be the host and the producer this time. The original team of Endemol and Scott St. John will be producing behind the scenes, and right now auditions are taking place. And well, since this is going to be a cable show, I don't know how many models they're going to use or what the top prize is going to be.
What about the banker? What about the banker?
Pound.
Well, the banker is always hiding in the shadows, so anybody can be the banker. Even Donald Trump was once the banker.
True, I was just going to say that, but no, they'll probably get.
Well, they could even get Dick Van Dyke in his former role that he'll be reprising later this year.
Well,
coming back to do.
Mary Poppins Returns.
They announced that he's coming back to play the Chimney Sweeper.
Yeah, what'd you say? We can hear you there.
Well, so Disney announced that Dick Van Dyke's coming back to play Bert.
Well, he's playing the banker. You remember he played the old banker in that movie, as well as Bert.
I did not play the banker. I know he played Bert.
Well, it was a dual role, similar to what Mike Myers has been doing for 20 years and more. But let's get back to the subject at hand. Deal or No Deal on CNBC, Smash or Trash Scott.
Deal.
Yeah, deal. That's what the very word that Howie Mandel says at the beginning of every phone call these days.
Deal. I'm all in. I think it's going to be good.
Wrong game, Chuck. We're not playing No Hold'em.
Well, for me, this is a no deal, close box. I'm not sure if these people are going to be learning their lessons from the primetime version and the syndicated version of overdoing it on the gimmicks, slowing down the game to the point where they get through only 1 per hour, or even worse, 1 for every 2 hours. The $1 Million Mission, which I don't see them doing a $1 Million Mission. I'm just seeing them doing all kinds of wacky things, although I mean, even so, with the syndicated version, they started recycling contestants week after week, and to the point where it was even noticeable that they were really that desperate in Connecticut. And so I just don't see any good coming from this. So for me, it's trash.
And to quote from Cindy on that, it would be the basic NBC South story.
Yeah, so just because there aren't enough people who can't tug at our heartstrings enough.
Right.
Well,
Joker's Wild is coming back.
Well, for the second season, we haven't. Again, that's not really recent news, but speaking of recent news, as you know, CBS has recently recorded their pilot for a potential remake of Name That Tune. The host they got for it is you may know her from movies such as Pitch Perfect, TV shows such as 30 Rock, and even The Hunger Games. That would be Elizabeth Banks.
Oh, cool.
Thank you, Troy McClure.
Wait a minute. Elizabeth Banks. She was in Pitch Perfect with current WWE superstar Lana, CJ Perry.
Yes, and she even made her directorial debut recently with Pitch Perfect 2, and she's also her only game show experience has been a celebrity judge on The Gong Show last summer.
Oh, yeah.
Gong for that?
Well, not sure about that, but I mean, it's very interesting that CBS decides to take a chance on this pilot just to compete with Fox's Beat Shazam, and considering this is going to be just back to basics, I'm not sure if they're doing $1 million format. No one really knows what the format that they're using is, but considering...
I wonder how much
100.
that they actually had to go to Sandy Frank to pull out that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Sandy Frank is producer behind this. I'm not sure if there's or any other famous celebrity like a Will Arnett that's becoming the creative force behind this. But here's the thing. I ask you, Elizabeth Banks, is this stunt casting or is this an inspired choice? Scott?
Yes. You could definitely get someone that you could get Wayne Brady to do double duty.
Why not? It is physically possible considering he's in the CBS family, so I think it'll be very easy. I mean,
and considering he's right now on Broadway too.
Yeah, so basically he has stand up, Let's Make a Deal, and Broadway, so he's a triple threat. All right, Chuck, same to you. Stunt casting or inspired? Smash or trash?
I'm going to wait and see on this one. I have no decision. I'm going to wait and see on this one.
Yeah, for me, since nobody has seen the pilot, I'm not sure. It's hard to really properly judge, but I don't know. I get the feeling that she was cast more for beauty and charm rather than any ability to conduct proceedings with unscripted performers. So for me, it's trash.
Wait a minute. Yeah, they're actually rebooting Name That Tune, right?
We'll get like Wayne Brady or Drew Carey to host it.
You do have a point, though.
Although, personally, for me, I think, considering the fantastic job he did with the syndicated Don't Forget the Lyrics, I think Mark McGrath would be the perfect host for this.
Who was the guy that did the syndicated version of Weakest Link?
Syndicated version of what?
Weakest Link.
That would be George Gray, the current announcer of The Price is Right.
We could get George.
He could.
He's got hosting under his belt.
Yeah, that's right. I mean,
what about Jonathan Mangum?
Well, I just go with Mark McGrath, considering he had the charisma, the enthusiasm, the knowledge, and the relatability for all the contestants that came in, and they can easily get him, considering CBS still has his phone number. He recently did the Celebrity Big Brother, so it'll be easy to get him.
What about who would you not want to see host this?
Well, for one thing, Kevin Pollak.
Tom Kennedy.
No, I would say Stephen Frank.
What about?
Well, Well, you wouldn't want to see a 90-year-old John Kennedy former role.
Exactly.
You tell him can he do it, but that's highly unlikely.
So, okay, who just went by on a motorcycle?
I don't want to see Seacrest do it because he just likes to hear himself talk.
Yeah, considering him and Ryan Seacrest are about to rule the world.
With
Let's bow down to our kings.
How about somebody that's actually in the music business, like the guy that did Singing Bee?
Oh, wait a minute. Chris Kirkpatrick from NSYNC.
No, I think that was Tony Fontaine that did.
Joey Fontaine, I think.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know. See, I'm
just up here. Okay, let's shut this down. Let's go to the Game Show Network. Considering they recently had an upfront there by adding a new series called Snap Decision, hosted by David Allen Greer. They have their new documentary series Cover Story, but some of their old favorites, such as Winsanity and Divided, have been relegated to the insomniac hours of 3 a.m.
What? Are they freaking high?
Game show.
Well, let's see.
Dude.
Than us.
Well, but it gets better considering they have some carbon copy knockoffs in the works, such as America Says. Which
what?
It involves. Tell me if this sounds familiar. Two teams of families compete against each other to guess responses to national surveys.
The Feud.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that before.
Family Feud.
Family Feud. The Feud.
Yeah, let's see. We also have a show called Caroline and Friends, which is a showcase of hilarious viral videos from around the web. And a choice.
AFV.
Yeah, that's totally original. I've never heard of that before.
Or that one that they have on TV. Or that one that they have on TV, I think.
Well, we could also refer to that considering there's one Nickelodeon show that did use viral videos, but we'll talk about that later. Next one in development is a show called Catch My Bluff, in which contestants have to make up fake answers to trivia questions to trick other contestants. Has anybody heard of this before?
Boulder Dash?
Well, gee, I think that it's amazing that they've actually referenced something that's more than 25 years old with the better sex.
Wait a minute.
Wasn't that a Gibson Todman game show?
It was. It was one of those few shows that hasn't been rerun on GSN, aside from a couple best of packages.
Oh, man.
They're just going to bring back mind readers?
Well, next one, there's also Moving Money, in which they have to get on a reclining bicycle in a bar, answer questions to stay on it.
Wait a minute. It's like Cram, right?
And also Cash Cab. And finally, they have Mall Madness, which is a shopping spree game show taking place at the Mall of America.
Oh, brother.
Gee, weren't they here before?
Yeah.
Back in the Jurassic period of GSN, when Chris Harrison was just an up-and-coming star? Mall Masters? Well, that's one thing GSN did right, is that they introduced the world to Chris Harrison.
Gee, I wonder what happened to Chris Harrison.
Well, how much time do we have?
2 minutes.
Well, let's see. He basically hit the jackpot on ABC and has become their prince. And Tom Bergeron is close to being their king.
Tom Bergeron,
Yes, but anyway, is GSN really running out of ideas here to the point where they're just, making the Pepsi to someone else's Coke?
I agree. They're running way out of ideas.
Well, and that's what they're high on, Chuck. It was Coke, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Survey says?
No way. So it's unanimous, all trash?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if GSN really wanted to get back into the game show stuff, bring back shows like $1 Million Mind Game.
Yes, and make sure that it does not air when people who have jobs are sleeping.
Right.
Yeah, considering who. I mean, with their originals airing at 3 o'clock in the morning, I mean, are they really just banking on the unemployed?
Right. So, anyway, to quote from Karnak, 1,000 clowns.
Hi-yo!
The number of people that decided GSM's fall schedule this year.
Yeah, and also there's not much else to say. Although I do just want to get some. I'm just curious as to if you actually fell for this past Sunday. I know that Buzzerblog played an April Fool's joke on the entire fan base by announcing that Ryan Seacrest would be hosting a revival of Press Your Luck this summer, with Mark Burnett producing.
I fell for it. I fell for it.
I did.
Yes, you didn't. Although I have to admit, the logo they came up with was pretty legit. Corey Annotato, the graphic designing genius he is, he really did a good job there.
I thought maybe someone like Travis or Tim Connolly or Adam Needham would come up with something like that.
What about him? Yeah, Travis Griffin. He's when I developed most of the software for Lost Silver. So
That's what I'm referring to.
Yeah, it's Travis Griffin, who nobody could pronounce his former name, Shario, that he apparently needed to make himself related to Peter and Meg.
Hey, Travis, if you're listening to this at a later point in time, no harm, no foul on this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, I will give them credit for the legitimate looking logo there, but considering everybody's nostalgia there, I personally did not fall for it. I knew when I saw the names Ryan Seacrest and Mark Burnett that it's all an April Fool's.
Right, because
I fell for it. I
would say for someone like Press Your Luck to host in this day and age, maybe someone like the redneck that hosted Fifth Grader.
Jeff Foxworthy.
Nah, I don't think we need to cater to that demographic. I don't think we need the fifth grader crowd, the Bible crowd. I mean, his audience really wouldn't respond to that. I mean, although they might be. That's probably a game show that's perfect.
What about Todd? What about Todd?
Why not give it to somebody from that was on Whose Line Is It Anyway? Like
Colin Mockery or Ryan Stiles or Brad Sherwood.
Considering, aren't they basically contractually obligated to the CW?
Oh.
Or what about the guy that did Celebrity Name Game?
Yeah, Craig Ferguson. I think we need someone who can be excitable but still maintain control over the proceedings, since it's a very loud, energetic show, and we need someone who can really steer the ship with this one. But at the same time, they still want a big name.
How about Mark Summers?
Yeah, Mark Summers. I mean, has he really ever made it big on primetime television on any of the big three networks? I mean, considering most of his successes have been on cable there, and I mean, he may be a big name in some capacities in the cable circuit, but again, primetime television has never really understood him.
No.
In fact, that's why he didn't really get the job on The Price is Right, since CBS thought he was just, a children's entertainer.
Oh, what about Todd?
Well, there's an outside chance there, considering he does have his Emmy win to back him up. But then again, I mean, he compared to the other names.
Considering he has experience hosting the show before.
Whammy, 2002-2003.
Exactly. I mean, I think he could do better this time, but again, that's an outside chance. All right, once again, I'm shutting this down. You guys could go all the way to Pluto with this one. Our last subject on the docket for Smash or Trash would be Taskmaster, the American version premiering on Comedy Central April 27th.
Of what?
Taskmaster. Never even heard of it.
Same.
Basically, as I'm reading from here, it's a UK import. They're having most of the personnel from the UK version come over. There's Greg Davies, which in in a chair. There's Alex Horn, the administrator, and a whole bunch of celebrities doing tasks.
Oh.
Basically, it looks like some kind of stunt show. I haven't really done the research on it.
Oh, kind of like Fear Factor almost.
Yeah, basically, it's a celebrity dare game show.
That's right there.
So, I mean, I think with just the right combination of celebrities and the proper hosting, this is just really a personality-driven format. It's just looks like it's going to be mostly played for laughs. It's not really a serious endeavor. But
Hopefully it doesn't bomb like the game show that Jack Mason did.
You're in the picture?
Yep.
Wait a minute. I love, man, my favorite.
They have nowhere to go but. Yeah, so could this work? Chuck.
I have no idea yet. I have no idea, not yet.
Same thing. I have no idea.
Yeah, so I mean, it depends. I think it has potential, but I'm looking at the group of celebrities they got here. There's Freddie Highmore. There's Lisa.
Freddie Highmore. He plays he's on The Good Doctor on ABC.
Yeah, he came from Bates Motel and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. There's also Dylan Francis, Ron Funches, Kate Berlant. So it could work.
Sure. Or we can always get Sharon Doherty to come back and host a game show again.
From Charmed?
Yep, considering she did, what was that show that she did on Sci-Fi?
Hang on. Yeah, what's up?
What sci-fi show?
That one that Sharon Doherty hosted.
And I don't recall that one. The only game shows I know from sci-fi are The State of Panic, Chase, and Opposite Worlds.
You said the Chase?
No, not The Chase. It's CHA$E.
Okay, so then they did that to make sure that they weren't hit with a copyright suit from Channel 4.
Yeah, it's a completely different format that happened to have the same name.
Anyway, moving on to our main topic.
Yeah, and now we can get to the main topic, unless we have a commercial we'd like to run.
No.
Now let's do this. On your mark. Get set.
Chuck, hold on. Hold that thought. I will bring it up properly.
Go ahead.
Give me a second to load it up on YouTube.
Well, are you going to actually play the video?
No, I'm going to play the sound.
Yes, those are the 6 words that started it all. It was the beginning of the journey that we have been on since October 6th, 1986. A line that defined an entire generation of children's programming. And the first 3 words are a title of a new documentary on the life of the person who delivered those lines. Yeah, so
I want to save that show for last because there is so much we can talk about it.
Exactly.
I want to save that show for last.
Yeah. So as far as the formatting of this podcast, were you just going to go through the shows individually? We're going
to go through them individually.
Okay, what's the first one we're working on?
Yeah, just so I know what pictures to bring up.
I guess the first 2 that we'll bring up, since I think they both started around the same time, Think Fast and Finders Keepers.
Well, Finders Keepers came first.
Okay.
Yeah, Finders Keepers came first. It was the first game show that premiered after Double Dare. It was in 1987. It had same personnel that created it. It first ran on the Nickelodeon network for about a year or 2, hosted by Wesley Ure from Days of Our Lives. And eventually it moved into syndication with Larry Toffler as host.
And
I didn't know that he was part of Days of Our Lives.
And Harvey was the announcer for both seasons, I think.
A little bit of season 1, I think.
Yeah, he did not move on to the syndicated version.
No, because he mainly went to go do Double Dare for so long.
Yeah, and also the fact that Double Dare and Finders Keepers were both in Philadelphia, whereas the syndicated version was in Los Angeles.
Is that why the set changed?
Yes,
I think so.
It was when Larry Toffler took over. That's why the set looked different. That's why they also changed the picture round to the sticky pictures that you put on the wall as opposed to the telestrator.
Now, before we move on to how that game worked, which version of that did you like? The circle with the light pen or the second version?
Well, I liked the telestrator since it was much more straightforward and fast paced and easier to figure out as opposed to the sticky wall, which was a lot more difficult to really get on the wall there. It was contestants seemed to have trouble getting it on. It was a lot. Like I said, I mean, I personally feel that the Nickelodeon version was the superior run since Leslie was a much more dynamic host, and Larry Toffler, I think, is one of those people who's better suited to answering the questions as opposed to asking them. Wow, that went completely over your heads.
Yes.
Yeah, considering that Larry Toffler has since become a contestant on numerous game shows such as Debt, Russian Roulette, and Catch 21.
Throughout the entire series, I think.
Yeah, those were all just one-shot cable shows. He he never hosted a game show again. I don't think.
And then we come to Think Fast.
Yeah, you're going kind of fast because I know Brian asked me to bring up some pictures. I didn't have a PowerPoint premiered, so I'm just quickly going from Google and YouTube. So whenever I'm ready to show something, I'll put it up.
Think Fast was a cool show. I like Think Fast. It was all right. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, Think Fast was a very mediocre show. I mean, between both of its hosts and the formats that they used, between what they used in the front game and what they used in the end game, it was a mixed bag. Both seasons were very mixed bags.
Right. But here's the thing I want to bring up too, because Cindy brought this up when she did her review on the deal, the Let's Make a Deal, the one that was taped at Disney. When they did the live show, they actually had Carrington host a few of the
considering that was around the time when Nickelodeon moved production to their famous home at Universal Studios, Florida. Because in case you didn't know, all the Nickelodeon game shows were taped in either Philadelphia or New York City from 1986 to 1990. It was in 1990 when the Nickelodeon Studios was finished at Universal that they moved their production to all their shows there in 1990. And it was a much more comfortable environment since the stages in Philadelphia and New York City were very small. It was basically like filming in a closet, and you could really see that with Michael Carrington's Think Fast, since they look like they're filming in a walk-in closet.
Wait a minute. I got something cool to say, guys, about Nickelodeon Studios.
Yeah, but I liked Carrington's set for Think Fast because it made it look like you were actually. It made the set look like it was actually done at a ball field.
Well, let me just pull up a picture here. Let me see. I got a YouTube clip there, so you can see we have the locker room there where he would come out, and you can see that the way they turn the camera here and the constant cutting to the audience. I probably shouldn't be showing clips here. I meant to show still pictures, but I accidentally clicked on a YouTube link. Sorry.
No, that's fine. But
it happens.
When you see the camera, though, it makes it look like the set was bigger than what it actually was.
Oh, basically, yeah. Well, I got something cool to tell you guys about Universal Studios. I was there for the taping of the final episode of Family Double Dare.
Final episode of Family Double Dare. Were you on vacation at the time?
Yeah, me and my family were on vacation.
Yeah.
That was actually really cool.
Wait, was it Double Dare 2000 or Double Dare hosted by Mark Summers?
So, end of the Summers era.
Yeah, it was the last episode there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, at the time, they really didn't know that this was going to be the final episode. I mean, I think it was Mark Summers has said that they mutually agreed to end the show since they had done 525 episodes and they felt that they could do reruns forever and no one would notice.
Well,
unfortunately, Double Dare 2000 and blew everything up.
Yeah, unfortunately, Double Dare 2000 was
Well, oddly enough, the interesting thing about that is that Summers was brought in to be the executive consultant as the higher-ups at Nickelodeon, which the leadership had changed at that point, and they couldn't figure out if he should be the host or not, and ultimately they decided that he should be the executive consultant and producer. So he had control over who the host was, in the form of Jason. Unfortunately, he was given way too much direction than he should have. He had 3 different people telling him what to do. And also there were the Triple Dare Challenge, which took an hour and a half to explain, was overly complicated along with the rest of the physical stunts there. So
and they only limited 1 physical challenge per episode.
That's because they made the physical challenges more complicated on that version.
Oh.
But it didn't need. It didn't need it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised since it was 2000 that they didn't try to make everything much more millionaire-esque by having a discotheque set with scaffolding and techno music, smoke screens, and blah, blah, blah.
Well, what about, well, another game show I liked from the Nickelodeon era was Nick Arcade.
We'll get to that, but we're not up to that point yet.
Sorry, I'm getting a little too fast.
Yeah, considering the fact that I'm not getting the pictures fast enough.
Okay.
But, so after Think Fast and after
well, it was right around the same time of Think Fast. That's when they brought in their academic quiz show.
Make the grade.
Yeah, taped in. First 2 seasons were in New York City, and everything else moved to Los Angeles after that run. It had 2 different hosts, Lou Schneider and Rob Edward Morris. And oddly enough, Rob Edward Morris is I think to date, the only inductee on Game Show Garbage to actually respond to his own induction. Oh. He actually laughed it off. He took no offense to the roast that Cindy made of him. And then when Cindy graduated from college, he left a note on her Facebook page congratulating her.
That was very nice. I will say that. Now, with that, the sets for that. In which version was it more like the traditional yellow with the rotary? Was that during series 1, or was that with the first host or the second host?
Well, when you say the rotary, you mean like the solary panels of the game board?
Yeah.
Yeah, but both seasons used that. But it was basically something. I mean, it's a very unique game board to use the solary displays. It was something that we hadn't seen since the East Coast game shows of the 70s and 60s as well.
Can you bring up a picture of the game board so we can see it?
I got.
Can you see it?
Yeah. Now,
I have my browser opened up fully, so I can't see you guys. Do you see the game board in my camera?
I can see it.
Now,
very good.
With this board here, who was the host of when that style was?
Well, it was basically the same board, just with different colors. I mean, this used a black background for early.
Yes, Scott, that was the original board. That was Lou Schneider's first season.
From the Schneider era?
Yes, yeah. and this is what it turned into afterwards.
Yeah, this is when they modernized the board for Lou's second season and the 1 season with Rob Edward Morris.
Which one's one with Rob Edward Morris? What season is that?
Yeah, that was the season that was in Florida.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Lou's seasons were in New York.
That's the one I remember. That one right there, the yellow board.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's when they also changed the podiums because the Lou's first season, they looked like they were on exercise bicycles. Yeah, as opposed to the traditional school desks for the subsequent episodes.
And what series was that? Series 2?
Yeah, series 2 was when they got the desks. But it doesn't matter. This game was still broken beyond belief and further immortalized by Merv Griffin's crosswords nearly 20 years later, with the fact that they had these fire drills, which basically gave the winner control of the first place desk. And sometimes, especially in Rob Edward Morris's season, the physical stunts would often come down to luck.
Right.
So basically, it was disadvantageous to have the lead at any time, knowing that your lead could get stolen at any moment.
What would you, okay, speaking of that, what would you have put in place of the fire drill?
Well, I think it would just be a special toss-up question, or if they want to keep the stunts, since obviously Nickelodeon is obliged to have stunts on every show, I think basically they could earn up to 3 free lights for the first place person, 2 free lights for second place person, and 1 free light for the third place finisher on the stunt.
Interesting. Or how about prizes or cash or something like that?
Like a trip to space camp, savings bonds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that could have possibly worked if they weren't saving enough of their money for Double Dare.
Since Double Dare was their hottest product at the time.
Yeah, I mean, even so, as far as the hosts are concerned, Lou was a little bit more lively. I mean, he had the occasional ad-lib here and there, whereas Rob Edward Morris, as he was roasted once before for his lack of enthusiasm and just being there for the paycheck, although that depended on just days of taping. If it was the first of the day, he would be energetic and lively, and then dead by the 5th show in the day.
How long did it last?
Well, it lasted from 89 to 91. And I think it was replaced by Nickelodeon's first animated series, Doug.
Oh my God, I used to love watching it when I was just a little kid.
Hold on. Correct me if I'm wrong with this. On that show, they actually had one game and I think there was like only one game that ended super fast.
Yes, it was the one game where someone actually got all 14 lights lit up before the first commercial break, and basically that contestant won the honors round, and they had to basically edit in an additional game from another taping day just to fill the time there. And oddly enough, that contestant was able to survive the fire drill.
Right.
It happened like probably less than you can count on 2 hands. But yeah, no, there were a couple of occasions, where that's it.
The only other thing I remember is the reason I bring that up is because after the bonus game, they actually did one where I think it was like after they did the honors round, which I think was the end game.
Yeah.
They did like another round with the contestant earning progressive questions, I think.
Kind of like the Monopoly, thing we do.
Yeah, and also I've seen it happen a couple of times where the contestant in 3rd place who didn't answer any questions was able to overtake someone who was 1 light away from winning on the fire drill.
Just by winning the fire drill, yeah.
Yeah, and then either time ran out or they picked the easiest question on the board and won, and then sucked in the honors round.
The honors round was like Final Jeopardy almost, wasn't it?
No, it was a speed round. It was just it was basically like a Trivial Pursuit round. Basically, it was something that the Trivial Pursuit game show did a few years later.
Right.
6 questions. What was it? It was
7 questions in 7 categories to win $1,000.
Math, geography, events, music, home economics, PE, and dads.
Yeah, that was always an elective there for each day. And though it never actually happened that because someone could get the first place desk and pick the lucky free space and win the game there, it never actually happened that someone completed their board without answering a single question.
Wow. How long did Make the Grade last for?
2
3
years.
years. 2?
89 to 91.
Yeah,
Basically,
3
like,
seasons.
it's like 3 seasons, I think. I
Yeah.
might need to rewatch it on YouTube, I think.
Yeah, there were 2 seasons with Lou Schneider and 1 with Rob Edward Morris.
Right. See,
Oh.
it had great premise, but the fire drills are what killed it.
I'd agree with you on that.
Yeah, of course, Nickelodeon has to force stunts into every show.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it's tough to say or whatever.
All
Well,
right. So
some shows like
now we're into Now we're into the 90s. The dawn of the 90s. The dawn of.
You can come back on picture for a second, Matt. It's okay.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to switch to a new show because I'm just googling this as I go along since I wasn't prepared for
I
this.
noticed.
all right, what
Yeah, we have to make a note, Matt, for future shows. If you're gonna be the picture guy, we gotta make a note, like save some pictures ahead of time so you could just put them up in the
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I did once before on another podcast. I did some pictures.
I know. I threw this on you on the fly, so I know
All right. So now we get into the 90s. And I'm not sure which one of these came first.
Well, the first one they did in the 90s was from spring 91 that introduced the world to Mike O'Malley and Get the Picture.
Yeah, the picture, yeah.
That was a good show.
And never thought we would see any tribute to Dotto again after the quiz show scandals.
You know what? I never made that connection.
That show is a classic. I used to watch it.
I never thought of it from a Dotto perspective.
Yeah.
Even
Me,
when I knew what Dotto was.
yeah, me and my mom used to watch that when I was just a little kid.
What was big about it for you, Chuck?
Well, I like the different stunts that did the power surge. I love the power surge segments.
Yeah, that was where you'd hear the hammy acting from Mike O'Malley, the way he yelled power surge.
Well, he did that more in the second season.
Yeah, he was more reserved in season 1, and also the power surges were much more. I think were a lot less physical in second season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Plus the way how they did the picture segments, I like those were really cool. I think I'm using technology at the time with using technology at the time and all that stuff. I think it made a really good game show.
Yeah, when I say Dotto, considering the first round, that's where they would pick the squares to connect the dots there. That's the Dotto format there, and then the boxes for everything else in the second round. That was more All-Star Blitz related.
So basically, they took parts of different game shows as made for the kids.
Yeah, and just about any other picture quiz there, and also with the Mega Memory round, there's the tribute to I Guess there. So it's basically putting the classic spin and putting it in a computerized environment.
Kind of like what Figure It Out did with I've Got a Secret and What's My Line.
Yeah, so yeah, considering that's how they were able to introduce kids into game shows.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, although I did feel that Get the Picture did suffer a bit in the second season, because the second season, that's when they switched from dollars to points. The bonus round went from 45 seconds to 35 seconds. They were basically playing for $100 to split as opposed to $100 each. So basically, it looked like they had budget cuts in the second season.
How many seasons did Get the Picture last for? How many years did it last?
Just 2.
2 years.
Although the 2 seasons aired over the course of, I think, 8 months. It lasted from, according to what I'm reading here, let me just get the accurate count here, because I know that sometimes they include reruns. Oh yeah, it was March 18th, 1991 to December 6th, 1991.
Repeat the day that it aired.
It aired from March 18th, 1991 to December 6th, 1991.
Wow.
I got what? It premiered on my birthday.
Dang.
And it lasted almost exactly 9 months.
And I'm lucky. I have a game show that premiered on my birthday and have a game show that ended on my birthday too.
Holy cow.
That's weird.
That's cool. That's pretty.
This is in contents, but the game show that ended on my birthday was Tic-Tac-Toe 90.
Oh,
how ironic.
Yes, how ironic.
Yeah. So in a way, you won.
And the fans lost.
Yeah. So as we continue in our journey and as we get past 1991, as the new year stretches into 1992, that's when we enter the video zone.
Nick Arcade, classic video gaming reborn.
Now wait, question to you, Woj. When did Legends come out? Was that 90? Was that
93? That was 93.
All right.
That's next.
All right.
Oh my God, I used to watch this. And the face-off rounds were actually used on an Amiga computer.
Yeah, they basically just made their own ripped-off versions of classic games like Pong or Breakaway. They basically put in different environments.
But you know what made the show special, in my opinion? The video challenge.
Yeah, basically the video challenges and the face-offs basically were their versions of the physical challenges from Double Dare. Basically, with the format they had, it was basically Double Dare with video games.
Well, the Wizards challenge remind me of the high score that gets the go for the arcade game on Starcade.
Yeah, and the way I see, yes, Brian.
Yeah, anybody that knows Starcade, was definitely familiar. Yeah, she knows Starcade, of course. Yeah, the Wizards challenge with those. Yeah, that was pretty much a straight rip in a sense with that. But what else can you do with that sort of thing?
Oh,
so where are you going?
Well, as I would say, the way I see it, that this continued the de-evolution of video game-based game shows. You had Starcade, which was practically perfect in every way. Then you had the video game, which was a big budget but lacked substance.
Then you got Nick Arcade. I like the video zones. I love the video zone segment.
And then you had Video Power, which tried way too hard to be hip in the 90s.
And it failed.
It tried to be. It was the Vanilla Ice of video game shows.
Yeah, throwing a little Super Mario Brothers Super Show as well.
Yeah, and then you had Nick Arcade, as we said here, and it hit an all-time low at the end of the 90s with Throut and Neck.
Wait, what?
Oh God!
Oh God! You remember that GSN show?
I remember watching it when I was a kid.
What show?
Throut and Neck.
It was an interactive phone game show that GSN did in very short-lived in 1996.
1999 actually.
Call in to GSN and control these like two dinosaur animatronic characters who would basically try to
one up each other.
Just duel each other or whatever for cheap prizes.
And of course the insults. Oh my God, the insults were flying during those shows.
Yeah.
So
they're trying to mix it with Simpsons.
Dirty Dozens.
That sounds.
I have no idea, but it's like no, the prizes were dink, and it was like I said, GSN was going
nowhere.
Well, they were in the Mesozoic era at the time.
Actually, no, it came a little later than that. I think there was more like might have been
99.
Came out in 1999. I think it was 13 weeks it was on.
From what I've researched, it had an 8-month run.
It also made Nick Arcade fun, the Video Zone segments.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, the Video Zone, that was the piece de resistance of the show. Although I think it was
the Mikey's Adventure stages.
Oh, you mean that one, the grid there? It's amazing how many of these teams were unstrategic about how they moved Mikey to really go away from the goal. I mean, I understand if they're trying to get the points there, but the enemies, the
game over the bully. Hold it right there, P-Brain.
The animation for those enemies there looked like they came right out of the Zelda CDI games.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if they that.
Yeah, even the Hotel Mario too, but even their voice acting was really cheesy. Yeah, but really the main attraction of the show was the video zone that they would enter, and they would enter this green screen world where they were actually inside the game. It was really a technical marvel for its time, the way that the graphics would respond in real time to the contestants' actions.
Basically like the early days of mocap, motion capture.
Yeah, it was, and also apparently it was the largest blue screen set ever assembled at the time. And also, I don't know if I think there's a video on YouTube that actually has the blue screens there and how they did everything with a split screen.
Oh, shows what it looks like from the blue screen side?
Yes, there were sometimes where they had the snowballs thrown at them. They actually had people dressed in blue throwing balls at them, and the camera was overhead. So, I mean, it was interesting for the time, but it was really hard since they have to look at the monitor off screen, and from their perspective, it's backwards. So as a result, so
trying to find it.
Here it is. I have it here. I know it's a YouTube video, but let me see if I can
just
pause it.
Just be careful.
Yeah, so here we are. I'll just freeze it here. You can see the snow there.
So we don't get in trouble.
Yeah, you see.
Okay, so this is what it looks like.
Oh,
yes.
Cool.
So you can see the blue around them, and they're holding a bag full of snowballs there, while stagehands are throwing snowballs at them, as you can see there.
Wow.
And they have a monitor there to show where they are. But again, it's just really hard from a perspective, since sometimes your left is your right and right is your left.
Basically, it's really neat what they did.
Yeah, but so as a result, they didn't have that many winners of that.
You forgot another Nickelodeon game show during that timeline. What would you do?
See, here's the thing. I don't know how well you really call what would you do a game show per se.
I don't count it as a game show.
I mean, you look in the list of Nickelodeon game shows, and it shows up on the list, but it was more, like I said, it was more candid camera than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, it sounded more like a social experiment to me, basically putting these people into extraordinary situations, or basically asking them if they would be comfortable revealing things on TV. It wasn't really until they added the wall of stuff in the second season that's where they added more of a competitive side to it to win prizes.
But you know what was really cool about that? The Pie Pod.
Oh, of course, everybody loved the Pie Pod.
And the Pie Wash.
Yeah, I saw it as more truth or consequences-esque, with audience participating in stunts that often they would just want to do instead of just trying to win it.
Basically, it was basically kids' version of Truth or Consequences, hosted by Bob Barker.
You know what? That's an interesting way of looking at it.
But Truth or Consequences was filmed in New Mexico.
Oh, okay, point for you. But no, actually, no, wait. Wait, she doesn't know what the pie. Brianne doesn't know what the pie is. Here, wait. I got the perfect way of thinking of it, because you know this. You know that little pie in the face game that you play with Becca.
Yeah.
Imagine being strapped in a barber chair, sort of, whatever, and you've got 4 of those things ready to just throw at your face.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, here it is. Basically, you'd be strapped to a chair there with the target behind you.
And then, of course, the infamous.
That's an after shot.
Of course.
I don't have any GIFs on me now.
Well, at the crowning glory.
Oh yeah, that's right. They briefly had the crowning glory where they had the thing above you to pour the goop on your head after it was done. They did that partially during the first year. They took that away a year or two.
Which when season 2 they brought in the Pie Wash.
The Pie Wash and the Pie Slide, yeah.
Forget about the Pie Coaster.
There's the Pie Slide.
Pie Slide was in season 1.
The pie roller coaster was during season 2.
That's right. I'm thinking of the coaster. That's right. They had that too, though.
That looks really, really
Then
fun.
you can't really see there the pie pendulum.
I don't know about that one.
Basically, all sorts of pie contraptions.
There's a okay. I saw a piece of the pie coaster there. Well, like I said, you guys can find this on YouTube and stuff.
And Robin Morella left Nickelodeon after the series went to the second series.
Well, actually, she stayed on Double Dare until the end of its run. I mean, she apparently left What Would You Do over salary issues.
Wow, didn't know that. I thought this was a really cool concept. I loved watching this when I was a kid.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it didn't really appeal to me until they added the wall of stuff, because that's where there was more temptation involved, and it really put the question, what would you do to the test?
Yeah. Then, of course, we're going on to the next one.
Yes, so we crossed over into 1993. That's when, I don't know if we were saving this for last, but...
Okay, can I do this?
No, we're saving Double Dare for last.
Can I do this one for the intro? Legends of the Hidden Temple.
All right.
With your guide, Kirk Fogg. And here he is now.
Okay. All right.
That's a bad Olmec.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, thank you.
$90 for
Don LaFontaine.
I tried my best. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine.
Here's your guide.
Say your piece. I know you know Legends of the Hidden Temple. I've shown it to you enough times, to help you get to sleep at night. I've shown it to Joey enough times in the past to get him to sleep at night. You both know the Temple Run. We've got the box game. We did the review of the box game. So, what is it you enjoyed about the Temple so much?
I like the Shrine of the Silver Monkey.
Everybody wants to try the Silver Monkey. Try to put that darn thing together. They made sure it was a plot point of the movie when they did it in Thanksgiving of 2016. Calm down, you. Okay. And she, any chance she gets, she watches that current cartoon that's on Nick the Loud House. She watches that, and they did a Legends of the Hidden Temple tribute on that show too.
I recorded it.
Okay. So.
Okay.
So
and of course, they got mad how they then there's some gifs online that it's not that hard.
Yeah, of course. You have to put it together backwards in order.
Oh.
I mean, considering it's no different than the toys you get in a McDonald's Happy Meal. Yeah,
but the one thing that really got me on the show, got me hooked, was the Temple Games and the Steps of Knowledge.
Yeah, what about the moat?
The moat, yeah, I love the moat. But the one thing I watched every episode for, and that was the Temple Run itself.
Of course, that's where we bring the action adventure of an Indiana Jones movie to the world of game shows.
And of course, the dreaded Temple Guards.
Which people need to understand that those Temple Guards were actually the various crew members of the show,
stagehands,
or at least the more buff crew members of the show that got to be the ones that come out and scare and stuff like that.
And there's one instance when they scared them outside the temple.
Yes. Oh yeah. No. That's a favorite one. They like to show that one in the rare times that they bring out the reruns on Team Nick.
One thing you were never. Hold on. I have one thing to add, and this was watching an interview that Kirk did on YouTube. There was one instance on the show where they actually had a contestant throw up in the pit of despair.
That is true.
I'll bet that was fun mopping up.
So basically, they had to stop tape, clean her up, reset everything, put her right back in the same spot she was, and had to restart the clock from where that was.
I don't know if they restarted the clock specifically. They might have just had her start from scratch because it happened like right at the beginning of her run.
Yeah,
right.
You could have been able to tell if there was a jump in the music.
Yes, there wasn't much to recreate in the first place.
Well, I liked in the second season when they brought in the graphic for the temple map and
Yeah,
I love
basically
that.
it looked more like a video game there. And also it was really in the second season where Kirk Fogg, basically his role started to diminish into a color commentator. I mean, he was already a teleprompter reader in the first season with everything he said, but really by the second season he left most of those duties to Olmec, and he was just reading the same words day in and day out and just
And of
being a
course-
color commentator.
And the thing
of course, the
Olmec
king
was
of voice, and of course, sorry,
Baker,
the king of voice acting.
who was also the announcer for Shop Till You Drop.
Yeah, that's why
He was also Klaus the Fish on American Dad.
that's why it pays to never throw away your boss's business card.
exactly.
Yeah,
real quick.
ours in
Let's
the
just make it clear now. Who's everybody's team? You've seen me in the purple parrot shirt enough, so you know mine.
Blue Barracudas.
Silver Snakes. My wife is the Purple Parrots.
Well, I've never owned any of those shirts, but I mean, considering the teams were different every day, but really, if I just go with Red Jaguars, since red is my favorite color of
Red
those six.
Jaguars. Oh, come on.
Red Jaguars, Blue Barracudas.
Chuck, I could say the same thing. You're saying, "Oh, come on," about Red Jaguars. I could say just the same about Silver Snakes because they dominated. Them and Red dominated the first season practically.
Well, I think of all the teams there,
they shut out.
Of all the teams, I think in the entire series, I think Red Jaguars went to the temple the most times, but Silver Snakes had the most wins.
I'll look that stat up while you go on to the next thing.
Yeah, Purple Parrots had the lowest win percentage in both categories.
What about the Barracudas?
I will research.
What about the Barracudas?
I'm not sure about the other three teams.
I'll check. I know where to find it.
Yeah, so if we're going next in line, actually, there's one that we skipped, which can come in the form of one question. Do you have it?
Guts.
Do you have it? Ooh, do you have it?
Nickelodeon. A lot of people thought that was Nickelodeon's answer to American Gladiators.
What? Yeah.
And the reboot, My Family's Got Guts.
Yeah, it's very interesting that Gladiators would see that as their competition, that they would eventually create their own answer to that with Gladiators 2000.
Right.
Gladiators 2000.
That was Ryan Seacrest's first hosting job nationally.
Yeah. Oh, real quick before you go on. Okay, I have the stats in front of me, courtesy of an old Legends of the Hidden Temple fan site that kept track of all these things called the King's Storeroom. Here were the official statistics after all 3 seasons of the Temple and 120 episodes. Okay. Red Jaguars, 4 wins out of 20 Temple runs. Blue Barracudas, 5 out of 19. Green Monkeys, 8 out of 24. Orange Iguanas, 4 out of 25. Okay. Purple Parrots, 3 out of 11. Like I said, see, I was the one that got skunked. And the Silver Snakes, 8 out of 21. So Orange actually had the most Temple runs, and Green and Silver tied for the most wins.
All right, so I'm wrong.
I was going for the every episode I was going for the Silver Snakes because they were my team.
You want to know how I figured out if a team won or not? This is how I kind of figured it out. The length of the break between the end of the Temple games to the start of the Temple.
To the Temple run itself.
Yep, to the start of the Temple run. The length of that commercial break. If it was a long one, then yes, they did win.
Real too close attention, man.
What?
Oh my god.
Nickelodeon Guts was one of my other all-time favorites.
Let's go to Guts now.
Yeah. There was 3 versions of the
What were you saying? Hold on. Well, Brian, what?
No. Just I'm saying, go on to Guts now.
All right.
Okay. Can I lead in on this one? There are 3 different. Sorry.
Go ahead, Woj.
Yes, I know. 3 different versions of the crag, each one being more extreme than the previous one, and taller too, with adding more obstacles. Basically, they increase the difficulty every season.
Right.
That's what I want to know about.
And to this day, I can still quote what Mo said about that.
Oh, so can everybody. That's another one of those off-quoted things. Here's what I want to know about the Crag. As you look at that thing, I would probably say the most envious job on Guts had to be the spotters sitting at the top of the mountain on the aggro crag, because especially as the seasons went on and you've got the dark lights all over the thing, I know when you hit those buttons, those siren lights are going, whatever. I am amazed with everything flying in faces and stuff like that, how they can visually keep track of all of the lights being hit and be able to tell a kid about to reach the top, oh no, you missed one. I would not be able to tell it for my life, because every time I watched, I could never tell if.
You know how I figured this is probably what they did. They probably had like maybe a mini monitor or something that when they hit it, it signaled to them, which one lit, which one was not lit.
I would love to know where it was, though.
Well,
because definitely from how you saw it on TV, especially when you had the camera view at the top, you couldn't see any monitor, any tracker there. You know what I'm saying?
Take a look in the picture Woj has there. You see that little stand right there next to the crag on the blue player's side?
Right there, right?
I'm circling it.
Right.
They probably had somebody up there in that watching it, and there was only one spotter at the top.
So one spotter at the top, but
so probably the person up there in that crane booth was keeping an eye on everything.
Either way, I don't envy their job one bit.
Yeah, considering they had multiple cameras going around there, I mean, they had probably just had one perspective just showing the lights, one for each player and one overhead for the entire crag.
My favorite game on Nickelodeon Guts was Basic Training.
That's everybody's favorite.
And what about Slam Dunk?
Yeah, I liked anything that involved the track.
Well, I like the aerial events too. I like Make Your Mark.
Oh yeah, they love getting the Bungie stuff in there a lot. Well, like I said, yeah, it was the early 90s. Bungie was becoming the big thing.
And there's one event called there was one event that had that bike thing. I'm trying to remember. Not the BMX, but the other one.
Mad Max.
We're talking about the one that was the one that was like the bike on the floor like this.
Yeah.
Mad Max.
Pellet like that with the feet. You had the arm things, right?
Yeah, that's one.
Like that.
I've been saying the name for the past 3 minutes. For the past 3 times, that event was called Mad Max.
Yeah.
Mad Max. That was it. Thank you.
Oh yeah, like the movie.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They had a game to the dead end wall.
There you go. So that had its runs. Yeah, that did a very good job. I really liked when they did for the final season of the original, when they did the global Guts and got the kids from all over the world to.
Wait, I want to mention something. I think there was only 1 or 2 people that had a perfect game on that.
25, yeah.
Yeah, it happened more than a few times.
It happened a few times.
Wait a minute. Global Guts was the international version of basically their relevance of International Gladiators 1 and 2.
Yeah, basically, I thought that it worked better than most other game shows that have tried an international competition where the English-speaking contestants just dominate the entire proceedings.
But there are some for the UK, though.
Yeah, I think the UK won more gold medals, whereas Russia or the Commonwealth of Independent States was the only country to win 0 gold medals.
Research.
How
many did Ukraine win?
Ukraine, that was part of the Commonwealth of Independent States.
And during that competition, one of their contestants from that country actually got injured, and they had to bring out a replacement contestant.
Wow.
Which one was that?
Yeah, it didn't happen very often, but yeah. Such is life.
Let me see, but Global Guts was really good. I like that one though.
Yes, and I think we have time for one more before we go to Double Dare.
Well, okay. Well, here. Here. Get the. Oh, okay. Here are the official counts with the things. All right. I'll go gold, silver, and bronze counts. UK 8-2-2, Mexico 7-3-2, US 6-4-2, Germany 4-6-2, Israel 4-3-5, Spain 2-2-8, Portugal 1-5-6, and the CIS 0-7-5.
Wow.
Oh, so I was right this time.
So Ukraine didn't have that good of a track record on that show.
Well, or any of the former Soviet republics.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Two games. Let's get in. All right. The one we gotta of course mention because another staple of the Nickelodeon thing. And then I promise this one because she's the only one besides me that knows the news show or whatever. Let's get Figure It Out in.
Basically, what's my line?
What's my line? I've got a secret for the kids set.
And any other panel show.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of them. Great.
Yeah, it looks fun.
Well, do you remember? You remember the revival with Figure It Out?
No, I thought you were talking about something else.
Oh no, okay.
I thought we were talking about Keep It Spotless.
No, we're gonna get to Keep It Spotless in a second. We'll get our piece in on that. But yeah, but Figure It Out was, like I said, the contestant had a secret that the panel had to ask yes or no questions to identify all the keywords and be able to give the exact phrase of what the contestant's secret is.
Like for example, does it have to do with some kind of instrument?
No.
Or anything like that.
Is it bigger than a bread box?
Yeah.
You know what? If the Nickelodeon panel and stuff like that knew the shows of back then, and we obviously knew they weren't going to, that would have been an interesting interesting laugh for the older set that are watching the show. To hear that question.
But then again, Mark Summers wasn't there, considering he was the only one who was around for those shows.
And of course, the secret slime action. You can't forget about those.
Right. What game show was that from? Was that from What's My Line or I've Got a Secret?
It was What's My Line was bigger than the bread box.
Okay.
Okay. And what I liked, the secret slime action.
Oh yeah, some of those things were lame. It's just
some of them were just ridiculous and unenforceable.
Then of course when you hear you know somebody was gonna get slimed.
I mean, some of them were just basically really forced, like being a panelist, being on Cat Dog, or thinking about coconuts. Basically, and things that were unenforceable.
Danny Tamborelli was the king of slime.
Why would they tell you?
Yeah, oh yeah, Danny Tamborelli, the king of just wanting to take the slime and fling his hair back into the crowd to get them. Lord Beth did that a lot too, and then of course, also the king of I don't know.
Right.
His moment of panic.
Yeah, there was
also from Pete and Pete too.
Well, no, of course. Well, remember, most of the panel was from various Nickelodeon shows. That's
they would have just one adult there from outside of Nickelodeon.
And there were some sports stars as panelists too.
Well, I did say the majority, Chuck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying they would have at least one adult who was from outside the Nickelodeon universe, like Sherman Hemsley or Richard Simmons.
Or The Big Show.
When did Richard Simmons Figure It Out?
I can't find. I know there's a picture of him online. If I could find it quickly.
Well, Big Show was on there. Wayne was known as the Giant. Y2J was on there.
Yeah, Big Show did. They had a couple of NFL stars do the show.
Cool. So they have some on the show.
Kobe Bryant was a panelist.
Mostly stuck to Nickelodeon stars in the revival, although I did like the reversal of fortune in the revival where the contestant could get slimed as well with the word of honor.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
The It board? What were they thinking? I didn't like that. I didn't like the It board.
I think on the revival, Chad Mosher's younger sister.
Cheyenne.
Yeah, she was on there, and she got blessed with the word of honor too.
What word of honor?
But I like Billy Dancerhead.
I mean, it's purely cosmetic. It doesn't make a difference, although the It board was a little harder to read with the monitors scattered about as they were.
Oh, you're talking about, yeah, this was the way it looked on the revival a few years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying it was a bit hard to read the order there.
And the prizes, oh my God, during the first season, the prizes were awesome.
Basically, props from the Legends of the Hidden Temple set.
Right.
Double Dare, all the old TV shows that were canceled.
Yeah.
Guys, we're not going to have time to get to Double Dare if we're just going to...
Okay, all right. Well, we got the idea. All right, real quick, for you guys that are not familiar, all right, very quick, explain Keep It Spotless, the new one, because I've even seen a couple of episodes of this. I don't know how these kids managed to go through this show. The antithesis of a Nickelodeon game show, where every other Nickelodeon game show wants you to get messy. Keep It Spotless, the direct opposite. Explain it real quick.
So basically, there is 3 challenges before the big one.
Did you really have to put the gum in your mouth? Continue on. Go ahead. But explain
I hope it's enough for everybody.
So basically, we're going to go through a course of challenges where 2 teams of 2 kids try to stay spotless during these challenges.
While paint is getting chucked at them in various different ways, whether by machine or by the opposing team.
Yeah, like the face-off where like one of them, the original, where you gotta pick the right one that has the paint in it. And when the light flicks on, you see if you have the right one. You don't run.
Okay, so it's like
rock paper scissors edition.
Okay, all right. Well, here, we can't get into every specific game, right? But the general idea then is after each game, the kids who are they go into a special scanner that can identify exactly what percentage of the white outfits that they were wearing from head to toe, the white bodysuits, are still white. It can calculate the percentage, and obviously, the cleaner you are, the more points you get, and the winning team
gets to go into the gauntlet.
Yes, it's pretty much like said. It's a painted obstacle course in a sense with I don't want think the basic training from Guts in a sense, but obviously it's like everything they have to dodge and navigate through has paint on it in some way. The cleaner you can keep yourself, the more cash you get. If you can keep yourself between the two, if the 2 players can keep themselves an average of 91% clean, then they get the full 10,000. Every 10% under knocks 1,000 off the grand prize.
Mm-hmm.
All we need now is Nickelodeon Studios to return.
Well, it's still there. It's just in Los Angeles now.
And so basically, the chart is like if like you get a certain average.
Well, no, we said
71. You don't get like.
That'll be 8,000, 71%.
No, if it was a regular game show.
Oh God.
Oh, who knows? I have no clue.
Episode you saw.
Okay,
it wouldn't be like some like 8,000.
Gotta move it to Double Dare now.
We'll figure it out later.
Cutscene.
Time. We're running out of time. We gotta move on. We saved the best for last. We saved Double Dare.
Okay. On your mark.
It looks like.
Sorry. I got losing. All right.
Yeah, this was the beginning. Basically, taking a simple concept like Truth or Dare and adding it to the realm of game shows with no mention of Madonna anywhere. But basically, this is the one that had it all. It had mess, intellectual challenges, physical challenges, a great tag team with Mark Summers and John Harvey. Basically, it put Nickelodeon on the map. It was entertaining for the entire family, both on set and off set. Basically, just with all the, considering that Mark was able to make the show appealing to the entire family by doing jokes for the adults with pop cultural references to the past and all that. Basically, it was a show you could tell that everybody was having fun and all the viewers had fun with it.
And of course, there were syndicated episodes too. But the one I liked was the Nickelodeon Super Sloppy version, where it had all the great stars on there.
Yeah, basically everything became super sloppy eventually when Family Double Dare came on, and as you got into the later years.
The show by its nature was super sloppy, but yeah, they just made it more obvious in the later years.
Well, I didn't like 2000 for some reason because it was just way.
Nobody.
Well, it was just very slow paced. The physical challenges were way too complicated, and it had a host who was getting way too much direction thrown in his ear and was unable to explain them clearly.
Exactly.
I mean, especially that slot machine physical challenge, which was way too complicated for its own good.
Right.
And of course, we can't forget about the most famous thing of why everyone watched Double Dare, the obstacle
course.
And there was one episode where they did the entire obstacle course backwards, I remember.
That was Backwards Day.
Oh, Backwards Day. I love that one.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong on this. They also did a tribute to Double Dare around the world. I remember that marathon.
Yeah, they showed clips.
Yeah, they had episodes from the Australian version.
They did They also did a tribute to like
a whole bunch of stuff that basically TV shows past and present.
And then, of course, the one that I remember was that they did one to Hollywood Squares.
What was the Al Silvers episode?
Yeah, we could go on all night about the different tributes they had.
Yeah.
But
the one all the way to Pluto and back.
About Double Dare.
Yeah, and you got to
if you can have this flag in your hand in 60 seconds or less, what's the grand prize?
A trip to space camp.
Right. I'm gonna ask you a question. If you know the answer,
we know it.
Yes. Everyone knows. Yeah. And the one thing that everyone remembers, the day that Mark Summers remembered the rules, he went and tore up the cue cards.
Yeah, but you can still feel the...
Yeah, and you got to something. It's pretty cool that for as well thought out as Double Dare was and stuff like that, and we see like the Sunday slide here, one of the iconic obstacles. When we did our top 10 list a year and a half ago, for one of our early lightning round videos, Sunday slide came in at number 2. Hamster wheel was number 1 on our list. I'll leave a link for that top 10 in the description below. If any of you watching have never seen it, well, I'll keep it there at the bottom. But
what about the infamous nightmare obstacle?
I was just about to say, yeah, it's pretty cool that Double Dare got the run that it did. When you consider that at the very first taping, the very first obstacle they ever ran, they had to shoot the obstacle course 4 times because of it. The first 2 times because in that giant pillow of feathers or whatever, which in the first 2 they kept in a plastic bag or whatever, which they shouldn't have. They forgot to put the flag in, but they didn't think it was going to be that complicated. It turned out to be more so. They forgot to put the flag in both times. The whole 60 ran out both times. The third time, they put the flag in, but then the kids knocked the cameraman over, so they had to cut that one and do it one more time. Finally, the 4th time took.
And
you can see the inside slop videos that are all around YouTube. You can see the whole event play out in full. It was pretty crazy.
I want to add one other thing. The other reason why Double Dare lasted for as long as it did, also, because when they wanted to test out new physical challenges and new obstacles, they brought kids in for that. They had a test.
The Nickelodeon Game Lab.
Yep.
Well, understand, Chuck. There was some exaggeration to the Game Lab concept that we saw when they did.
Basically, there was just.
But it was legitimately tested by kids, and they talked about that many times. If a challenge couldn't be done on the show, then they didn't, or in practice, then they didn't use it on the show. Pretty much the same way Beat the Clock was.
Yeah.
Right. Well, one that I remember to this day that was probably the infamous one that worked in testing but didn't work on the show was the one with the door with the 2 locks.
Yeah, they talked about that in the Inside Slot video. And then one that Mark never thought would work but did was when they had to shoot a paper airplane across the stage into a mailbox, and they got that one to work multiple times, so Mark said it would never happen.
And it did.
So...
but the point is that considering 30 years later, the show is still praised and remembered even by adults who have grown up, that you can tell that really Mark Summers made the show a show that anybody could watch and
And,
anybody could have a good time with.
And Mark Summers also had OCD as well.
Gee, where have you been the last 25 years?
Crazy. Yeah. Well, we could go on for 25 years about Double Dare or whatever, and several of these others. But unfortunately, though, we don't have that time. We're actually out of time, so we gotta.
We ran a little over time.
Well, we started a couple minutes late because of the difficulties we had hitting and stuff, and us trying to find a remote upstairs. So yeah, no, that was the delay. Sorry, folks. But anyway, that being said, so I mean. Let us know, folks, what your well, understand. We know Double Dare and Hidden Temple are always combating for 1 and 2. Let us know your favorites among all the other Nickelodeon game shows, past and present. Tell us in the thing below, because, like I said, we know what the obvious answers are. Give us something off the board.
Wait. What kind of fish do live in Canada? I don't know.
Yeah, you can't do that on television. We get it.
Yeah, I'm not going there.
You can't do that online either.
So we're not going to even try, unless we want to lose our laptops here,
or a home computer even.
Real fast, get your thought in, because then we got to go.
Since Keep It Spotless is the current Nickelodeon game show, please watch it. It's
What?
Show's alive.
Yeah.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Understand it more.
Yes, exactly. All right. So yeah,
watch all the others on YouTube.
Exactly. Do that, and when you're done, subscribe to us here, as we always ask. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Can I finish? All right.
And remember that Double Dare was filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Of course, exactly. And we will be in front of a live studio audience the next 2 Saturdays at Kind-A-Con in Morristown, New Jersey on the 14th. Right. And at Middlesex County College for Kagara-Con on the 21st. So look for us there at those 2 things. Scott, we're gonna miss you for a while here on the podcast while you're taking care of your poker business or whatever, getting yourself settled up at Foxwoods.
I will say this: if I'm able to make it for the podcast, I will.
Okay, but don't push yourself. Remember what we talked about. You worry about you first, okay? We'll keep the fire burning here for you, all right, buddy?
I won't press my luck.
Exactly.
Pressing their luck around you.
Okay. We'll see you guys in 4 weeks on May the 4th. Be with you when our topic is going to be your dream Price is Right lineups. We're going to get into that conversation. More details coming down the road. And I'm going to be doing a lightning round over the weekends about an April Fool's joke that was played earlier this week on the game show.
No, right.
More of that later. For right now, with our connections, the gang here, like and subscribe, all that business. We'll see you soon.
Bye.